Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Virgo December 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is, as far as December goes, the Sun will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 21st. So the 4th house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, for Virgo, this could be a very strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on the home, the family, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, people you're close to home with, roots, traditions, foundations, ancestry, even emotion perhaps, and the end or the latter part of life, and also who you are at the core. Now, when I'm talking about the end or latter part of life, I'm not saying that somebody's good life is going to necessarily end at this time, or it's going to be that latter end of life for that person. What I'm saying is that there'll still be a strong focus on it, and it could be in terms of getting as far as preparation for that time when it eventually comes, and if you're not already, in that latter part of life. So anyway, given this is Sagittarius energy, this could be done with a lot of Sagittarius like expansive energy, enthusiasm, exuberance, ebullience, effervescence, jocularity, joviality, a lot of hope and optimism, a lot of positive energy, and very philosophical. It could be about matters with that end of life period as well, and really and also on the negative side, though, this could be done with a lot of reckless energy, a lot of foolhardy energy, over-optimism, and being very even tactless and in blunt energy. But also, this is about getting to the truth of matters that are 4th house related, that are home and family, getting to that truth of one's perhaps roots and ancestry at this time, as Sagittarius energy is often about. So anyway, as far as the truth goes in veracity. Next thing up, the Sun will be in Capricorn as far as December goes, from the 21st until the 31st. So the 5th house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of power, focus, and attention on children, romance, even superficial interludes, amusement, fun, enjoyment, gambling, speculation, could be investments, personal popularity, hobbies, and creative endeavors. And given that this is Capricorn energy, a lot of this may be done, this focus on this may be done with a lot of planning and premeditation, consistency, but even intransigence and a lot of rigidity, and also very serious and professional manner as well. And also too could be done with a lot of discipline, a lot of very methodical manner, very conventional, being very orthodox, but also somewhat negative and pessimistic, perhaps. So if you're doing anything as far as gambling, speculation at this time, the one positive with this energy, Capricorn energy can be very limiting and restricting, and more very prudent and cautious with a lot of planning, premeditation. So it's very likely you're going to be overly reckless in these manner, as far as this matter may go. If you're going to do anything as far as an investment or anything connected with speculation or gambling at this time, so that is one good thing. Anyway, next thing up, there will be a full moon in Cancer on December 22nd. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you may simply become tired, full, exasperated, had enough of an overly temperamental, moody, fickle, over-emotional, sensitive, vulnerable, needy, clingy. Could be a friend, an acquaintance, a person that may be in a group, or some organization or club. It could be a stepchild, even if applicable. Also, too, when you're talking about the full moon, it could represent the completion or culmination of something. This could be about a completion or culmination of a Cancerian like aspiration or goal. It could be something, could be connected with laundry work or becoming a laundry manager, perhaps. It could be something with cooking, or something perhaps we're doing something as a home caregiver, something with the home such as real estate or home remodeling, renovation, repair. Also, too, I mean, this could also manifest, I mean, when you're talking about a full moon, a lot of times this could be about the revelation or unveiling of something. This could be the revelation or unveiling of perhaps a friend that may be close to home with you, and something you might find out about him or her that might be very startling. This could be something too about maybe insecurity regarding the future at this time. It might be something that's revealed to you that makes you more insecure as far as this goes. And also too, this could be about a very full, powerful, emotional, tenacious Cancerian-like energy in terms of attaining a goal, an aspiration, or something that you're doing with some friend or an acquaintance, perhaps at this time. And also too about putting that full, very powerful, nurturing, sympathetic, and caring energy into friends, and maybe even something of a humanitarian endeavor at this time. Anyway, next thing up. There will be a new moon in Sagittarius on December 7th, so the 4th house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be a new period, perhaps, of hope, optimism, exuberance, expansive energy, perhaps in home-related matters. This could be something where you decide to do some kind of expansion as far as your home goes. It could be putting a partition or something where you're literally expanding the home life. It might be a period where you begin to maybe expand your family, where maybe you decide to have maybe a child or another child if you do have any. Now, also, too, it could be the start, maybe the beginning of a connection with a Sagittarius person that you might feel that you'll be close to home with, or maybe a new Sagittarius family member. In some cases, it could be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply a person that embodies Sagittarius characteristics. Now, also, too, about maybe beginning to see that beginning to expand horizons and understanding that could figure prominently as far as the role in the latter part of life or the end part of life for you. Also, too, being more positive at who you really believe you are at the core. And also, too, perhaps getting to your roots, to your ancestry with a lot of hope and optimism and a lot of positive, expansive energy at this time. And it might be a time where you might embark or initiate on something Sagittarius related in the home. It could be something connected with sports, such as working out vigorously. It could be, doing like a fantasy football thing. Anything that could be Sagittarius related. It could be starting, in some cases, a religious service, perhaps out of the home. So anyway, next thing up. Mercury will be in Scorpio as far as December goes, from the 1st until the 12th. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be one way this could manifest is just simply being more loquacious and voluble than usual, talking about Scorpio-related subjects such as astrology, the supernatural, the occult, investigation, matters with death, perhaps things that are very deep and provocative. This could be also about having very incisive, deep, provocative, probing conversations with cousins, with siblings, with neighbors, maybe people that were prominent that you knew well in your early education. And also, too, this could be about Scorpio siblings that may figure prominently in your short journeys, in your communications and matters with neighbors at this time. They could be Scorpio, sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics. So, and also you might find yourself perhaps thinking maybe about a transformation in your communication. It could be just simply about maybe speaking maybe a foreign language and course, with Mercury and Sagittarius around the corner this time, maybe that would be an ideal thing perhaps to do. And also, too, guard against becoming overly mentally fixated and obsessed on third house matters at this time, such as matters with short journeys, people from your early education, or maybe things that you may have learned from them, your neighbors, cousins even, at this time. And anyway, and another thing too is that also try to avoid very manipulative and vengeful thinking on third house matters at this time, as well as Scorpio energy can be somewhat manipulative and vengeful, and when it comes down to very negative manifestation. Anyway, people, hold on a moment. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, well, next thing up, Mercury will be in Sagittarius as far as December goes, from the 12th until the 31st, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this may manifest in a lot of very philosophical, blunt, very voracious, to the point, veritable communications with people in your home, your family life. It could be a family member, someone you're close to home with, and also thinking very optimistically at who you are at the core, with a very emphasis on truth and veracity as well, and really thinking about the latter really part of life in a very positive manner. And excuse me, also this could be about laying the law down, so to speak, with people that are fourth house related, such as the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, people that family members, people you're close to home with. They could be also too. Another way this can manifest perhaps is where, again, as I've spoken about previously, is that Mercury it's not just about communication. It could be about other things as well. It could also be about siblings. And it could be that Sagittarius siblings might figure prominently in your home and family life, more so than usual, and also in your traditions too and foundations. It could be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius-like characteristics. So anyway, and also it might be communicating about expanding your home life, and such as maybe adding maybe a partition or some kind of expansion to your home at this time. And anyway, next thing up, Venus will be in Scorpio for the majority of the month, and the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. This could be about really strong enjoyment of doing Scorpio-related things with brothers, with sisters, with neighbors. It could be some kind of game or other thing of enjoyment. It could be doing some of the Ouija board, or playing maybe some astrology game, or doing things connected with astrology in general, the supernatural, the occult. With them, it could be playing some kind of Scorpio-like game, such as a mystery game. It could be something like a Sherlock Holmes type game, or like CSI, NCIS, or like an Law & Order SVU board game. Also, this could also be about another way it may manifest is valuing deep, provocative, and incisive communications. It could be about money being spent on transformation connected with third house matters, such as transportation, doing something, maybe some work on it could be rebuilding a vehicle, for example. And also, too, this could be about valuing power and control in your communications at this time. And another way this could be, just joking, of course, could there be a voice transformer in the works? But of course, I'm joking on that one. But anyway, well, the next thing, and also, too, it could be about money spent really on really... it could be neighborhood matters such as short journeys, perhaps at this time. And also, in any way, the next thing up, Mars will be in Pisces, so the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this could manifest perhaps in dealing with becoming very angry, perhaps at duplicitous, deceptive, overly passive, indolent. Could be a grandmother, a significant other, someone. It just could be somebody you're in some relationship with or in a business partnership with, and also too, and maybe even open adversaries as well that are deceptive and duplicitous. Now, another way this could come about, this could be about putting energy into some kind of a Pisces type of competition. It could be doing something with video gaming or doing some of Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy gaming, doing some of dancing, swimming, fishing. And also you might be fulfilling a sexual fantasy if you are unattached at this time, Virgo, especially if you're doing maybe perhaps with being maybe somebody 7th house related, such as an attorney or someone in some legal profession. And also in some isolated cases, it might be trying to do so with an open adversary or enemy, trying to maybe negotiate, so to speak, make peace with that person, and go from there, so to speak. But like I said, that could be in isolated, very isolated cases. Now, the thing about this is it could also be about putting a lot of self-sacrificing and compassionate energy in as far as for others in general. And anyway, and also, I mean, this is just really about, I mean, dealing, when you look at Pisces energy, of course, I mean, Pisces energy is not as very passive. It's not overly confrontational. It's difficulty being assertive. So you might be expressing, might be some difficulties as far as that goes, in terms of actually having confrontational energy, in terms of dealing with something with a legal matter, something that you need to take care of as far as that goes, or anything 7th house related, dealing with an open enemy or adversary. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, as I've talked about previously, Jupiter can be very paradoxical. It would be very strongly benign and benevolent, but could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. In some cases, this could be about expanding and enlarging, perhaps foolhardy, reckless, over-optimistic, tactless behavior, perhaps of family members, someone you're close to home with. It could be somebody, it could be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. It could even be the way you may act towards these people as well. But this could also be very fortuitous for the expansion of the home, perhaps expanding the home life, maybe even getting a new home, and really and a lot of positive energy as far as that goes. And also too, enlarging perhaps jocularity and joviality with people you're close to home with and family members as well at this time. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. And also perhaps maybe hope and optimism, perhaps in doing of something of a religious nature out of the home as well, or doing something sports related, perhaps out of them. And also the end of life, that a lot of positivity in those matters as well. It could be a very positive period for that, considering that Jupiter is in its dignity in Sagittarius. It doesn't necessarily mean you're in your end of your life, or you're in that. I mean, if you're not in that part, it just really means that as far as maybe making those preparations and doing the things, whether it might be investment or some retirement, getting the right retirement plan, it could be very fortuitous for that. So anyway, next thing up, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, Virgo, you might be experiencing some limitations and restrictions as far as matters of the heart goes, maybe receiving love from others. It could be matters with children as well, or maybe even things of a speculative nature. It might be about time taking responsibility to things that are gambling related. It could be some kind of debt or something that is owed at this time. And also too, I mean, you might find yourself at this time taking care of a debilitated or sickly child or a romantic partner, a lover. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints or hamstrings. And it could be something that might be making you feel rather despondent and melancholy. Hold on a moment, people. Anyway, well, again, as far continuous Saturn being in Capricorn in the fifth house being emphasized and highlighted, another way this could manifest perhaps is you might be dealing with some kind of government restriction that might be prohibiting or inhibiting your fun, your amusement, and enjoyment at this time. I mean, especially if for the few people that may see this, that might be on some kind of probation period or some kind of parole, it could be very intensified for you, and you might be really feeling, it might be making you feel really dejected and despondent going through it. But like I said, if there are even a few people that are in that situation, then obviously that's going to be more intensified with them especially. But anyway, and also too, this could be about, could it be maybe manifesting working laboriously, I think perhaps on maybe trying to have that fun and amusement and enjoyment for yourself at this time. There could be, I mean, really also too, this could manifest perhaps in really getting structure and discipline at this time in your love life perhaps as well. And anyway, well, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Aries still. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So, I mean, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. You might find yourself experiencing some unusual credit card activity. It might be a lot of erratic and sporadic emotional, monetary, even moral support. It might come from an unexpected source. It could happen very unpredictably and with a lot of spontaneous, abrupt type energy. Also, too, it could be about making an electronic or computerized transformation. It could be maybe you might be more geared toward using things with electronics and computers as far as, you know, your financial matters go. If you hadn't done that in some time, if you were just trying to do things more with cash, for example. Or it could just simply be, I mean, another example could be deciding to work out more, using more computerized electronic weightlifting equipment to make that transformation. Now, another way this could manifest is dealing maybe with very unpredictable, acrimonious, I guess you could say, it could be outbursts from a sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship, and even someone you might be in a shared resources situation with as well at this time. And also could be rather unpredictable, unanticipated tax and insurance matters as well at this time. And really, you might, and keep in mind too that the 8th house is connected with death, and I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. Just be very careful at this time, Virgo, especially if you're in, like say you're in some profession that really deals with a lot of electricity and more great propensity for getting shocked. Make sure you're taking your precautions at this time because Uranus is connected with electricity. So just be extra careful at this time because, I mean, there could be a greater propensity for something perilous connected with some kind of shock at this time, and really, you know, such as getting electrocuted. And also Uranus is the unusual. I mean, in some cases this could reflect some kind of unusual passing at this time, but that's very isolated, I would think. So I'm dying in an unusual manner is what I'm saying. Anyway, next thing up, Neptune will be in Pisces still. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. I have this placement natally First, I just want to say what I think is interesting is, like I said, I have this innately, it's really could be about having difficulty deciphering, ascertaining the, character composition of others in general. It could even be the grandmother. Now, it's funny that my Neptune is actually in Scorpio in my seventh house in my natal chart. What's interesting about that is that my grandmother, one of my grandmothers was a Scorpio rising person, and she was very, I mean, to me, a little bit cryptic. She was a little bit nebulous and unclear to me, I would say. It was hard to kind of really gauge her and understand her. A lot of that, I think, was attributed just to her having Scorpio rising, but coupled with the fact for me trying to gauge her and trying to really understand her. I think a lot of it had to do with me having that Neptune in the seventh house and being in and really interestingly enough being in Scorpio as well. Just very mysterious and very hard to decipher, her, who actually understand her as a person. Anyway, getting to this my interpretation as far as this goes, Neptune in of course in Pisces, in the seventh house being emphasized and highlighted. In a lot of cases, this could be about the dissipation or dissolving, perhaps, of a connection with a significant other, a marriage partner. It could be some business partnership, maybe the connection with the grandmother, perhaps. And also, too, some other ways this might pan out. It could be that open adversaries may be even unclear or nebulous. You might have difficulty seeing who those people are, even if they're kind of like right there in the open. Also, too, on a positive note, though, this could be about public speaking on the metaphysical, which could include astrology, if that is what you are interested in, especially. And also, a lot of this energy, I mean, and sometimes could be about a lot of self-sacrificing energy in doing things, doing a lot for others, where you really might be sacrificing your own time as well. And it could be that you might be dealing in some cases with really phony mediums or psychics, wind up being that open enemy to you for whatever reason, and just Neptunian people perhaps in general. Now, anyway, and sadly, on another negative side of this, that unfortunately you might wind up attracting some kind of maybe people that really less fortunate than yourself, or maybe the people that are might be in dealing with recreational drugs or alcoholics at this time. So, I mean, it's okay to help people that are in those situations, but remember, when you're attracting those people, and sometimes it can wind up being to your detriment. So it's just something to just be careful of as far as that goes. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, I know, again, I know a lot of you don't want me to say it, but I will say the dreaded D word again. In some cases, this could actually be the literal death of a child. It could be of a romantic partner, perhaps. Some cases, this could be about the obliteration of maybe personal popularity. It could be of maybe some kind of a creative endeavor or figurative ending of some kind of a creative endeavor, a hobby, something you did connected with fun and amusement. You might feel like your fun and enjoyment may be dying, figuratively speaking, at this time. This could be about a lot of power struggles with romantic partners, with somebody, with a child, perhaps. And also, at the same time, when this is happening, be very careful and guard against being maybe greater potential for compulsive gambling, becoming very obsessed over these things, or something of a speculative nature, even investments. Now, another way this can manifest is doing something Pluto-like as far as a thing of a hobby, amusement, enjoyment. It could be something connected with astrology, the occult, supernatural, and anyway, or even things connected with horror. I mean, these are some things, something that could be Pluto related, and also guard against becoming overly obsessed and fixated on attaining personal popularity at this time as well. So those are some things to look at as far as that goes. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Virgo December 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Libra December 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.